Nellie
I'm
for a
not
day.
Best
seat at the table.
Nellie for a day, huh?
Nellie's not
She's
gonna
not
be
coming, Jim.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to mess it all up.
Just wants to mix it up.
Okay, the meeting is called to order. This is the school board meeting, Monday, April 9th, 2018, 7 p.m. Welcome, everyone. Please join me. Oh, first of all members are present except for Director Corman. And please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
All in favor of approving the agenda as written, say aye.
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 Opposed? Nay? All right, agenda's approved. All right, moving on to recognition of student and staff. First of all, we have the Jefferson Theater Hello Dolly group is here, and I'd like to call upon Jamie Schmidt to come up. She's going to highlight the production and introduce the student performers.
Hello. My name is Jamie Schmidt, and I am the music director for this year's production of Hello Dolly. This quartet is 4 of our leads from the show. We have Jillian, Jenna, Nick, and Jack. And as the first act has gone on, they have found each other in their couples. And the song that they're going to sing for you today is the opening of the second act.
Yes, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius.
All the guests of Mr. Hackle are feeling great and look spectacular.
What a knack there is to that acting like a born aristocrat. We got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off. All who are well-bred agree Biddy Faye has pedigree.
Exercise your wildest whims tonight. We are out with diamond gems tonight. Could they be misleading us?
Silver spoons were used for feeding us. We got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off. Middle class, don't speak of its savoir-faire. We reek of it. Some were born with rags and patches, but we install our beds for matches.
Vanderbilt,
JP Morgan scrapes and bows to us. We got elegance. We were born with elegance. Have you noticed when I hold my cup, the saucer never moves?
and the way I keep my pinky up indubitably proves
But we got elegance. We got built in elegance, and with elegance, we'll carry it on.
So thank you for letting us be here tonight. We would just like to welcome you all to come see our show at the end of April. As you can see, we have a senior preview on April the 25th at 3:30, and then our opening night is Thursday the 26th at 7, along with the 27th and 28th at 7, and April 29th and 28th at 3 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't get sick.
Thank you.
It sounded like she had a cold.
Okay, we're going to move on to friends. So the school district is fortunate to have businesses and organizations supporting our learners in the community of Bloomington. In appreciation of these collaborative efforts, the school board recognizes our friends of education. I'd like to welcome Karen Arazi of the Education Foundation of Bloomington and John Weiser, Executive Director of Technology and Information. They are going to introduce our friends from the American Family Insurance Dream Foundation. So thank you, everyone, for being here.
Hello, I'm Karen Arazi, and I'm currently the co-chair of the Innovation Grants Committee with the Education Foundation of Bloomington. I would like to introduce our guests tonight. First, we have Jeff Vogel. He is the Community Investment Specialist with American Family Insurance Dreams Foundation. And then next to him is Dan Vanderveeren. Dan is an agency owner here in Bloomington. He is also a new member to the Board of Directors of the Education Foundation of Bloomington, and he is my new co-chair for Innovation Grants. Wonderful. In 2016, the American Family Insurance Dreams Foundation contacted the Education Foundation of Bloomington and distributed to us a grant of $27,000 that was to be used in our Innovation Grants program. Innovation Grants are small grants for individual staff members to fund an innovative project within their classroom. Over the past 2 grant cycles, the Education Foundation has added another $25,000 to that total to make $52,000 of innovative grants that have been placed into our classrooms. In addition, the Bloomington School District partnered with us in these grant cycles to furnish or add flexible furnishings to our classrooms, and up to this point, we have approximately 100 units of flexible furnishing that is already installed in classrooms, with a couple hundred more left to go. So we're really looking forward to that partnership with John. I want to thank American Family Insurance Dreams Foundation and Jeff for their contacting Bloomington and partnering with us in this endeavor. And then I'd like to share with you right now a couple of different examples of some of the ways that our staff members have used their grant dollars. Some staff members used their grant dollars to purchase new equipment. At both Jefferson High School and Kennedy High School, equipment and uniforms were purchased to give their student-run coffee shops the feel of a real coffee shop. These experiences are vocational training for these students, and we had a wonderful chance to actually experience what this coffee shop or what these students can do for us. Some staff members used their grant dollars to purchase new equipment, like Kelly Yackel, who at Kennedy purchased a glaze booth for her classes. Her clay students can now spray and finish. They can put a glaze on their clay creations and finish their projects with this spray booth, which they weren't able to do before. Some staff purchased supplemental curriculum so that they could enhance the classroom experience that their students have. And this curriculum was added by Audrey Thompson. A few of us, John included, had a chance, and Dan, had a chance to visit a classroom, and we saw a music classroom of Jody Petter, where we observed her students using the new music curriculum, and a thank you from them. They were also sitting in their new turtle shell chairs, which you can see in the back of that photo, and playing the ukuleles that they had just recently purchased. And as you noted in that thank you note, this now allowed, they were not able to purchase sufficient materials for their whole class, but because of our grant, they were able to now have enough materials and ukuleles for the entire class to do this. We also had a chance to visit another classroom who was studying problem solving using their new curriculum. Several staff purchased items that enhanced the educational experience of their special education students, like these two. This is a learning board, and this is a new tricycle for several different classes, but this young man is very pleased to have this. And finally, some of our staff leveraged their grants with their own innovations. Here, Mike Amos used our dollars to purchase the tools and materials for students to build these pieces of furniture in a life skills class, where he partnered with Home Depot to provide training in the use of the tools and other topics that Home Depot could share with his students. And Heather Schur, who was planning on just purchasing a couple of cameras for her class with her grant dollars, she actually went the extra mile and found an entire classroom full of 35 millimeter cameras and photo developing stations for all of her students in her class, and she purchased the entire classroom worth of equipment with her dollars. She really made those dollars stretch. These are just a few examples of what we've done with the American Family Insurance Dreams Foundation. We're very excited to be partnering once again with the American Family Dreams Foundation in a third cycle of grants coming up for the 2018-19 school year. Together, we will be bringing, that's together with the grant that we are receiving from American Family Dreams Foundation and what the Education Foundation is putting into the same innovation grants, we will be putting approximately $45,000 worth of innovation into our classrooms this coming year. That's a fantastic number. The grants, you'll find the grant applications. The applications will be out later here in April, so please look for those. And they'll be due back at the end of the school year in June. So I'm hoping that we will see a lot of applications from our classroom staff with all of the different wonderful ideas that I know are out there. We're looking forward to a successful round for our next innovation grants. I'd like to turn this over now to John Weiser, who's also going to share a comment or two how we partnered with the school district.
Yeah, thanks for having us. When I heard that American Family was coming here to be presented as a partner tonight, I was excited to add my 2 cents of thanks on behalf of my team. Board, you see me and my team come to you talking about flexible furnishings and how the environment and the instruction go hand in hand. It's the funding from American Family and that partnership that goes that last mile in supporting students' needs. So American Family funds have supported things like exercise balls, yoga mats, a peddler. Do you know what a peddler is? It's like a set of disconnected bicycle pedals that can sit under the table of some of your most active third graders and can create an incredible productivity boost in that third grade when it's there. So I wanted to just say thanks on behalf of our team. As Karen said, we've this partnership between Education Foundation, American Family, and Bloomington Public Schools, we provided grants either in process or previously funded over 250 grants to classroom teachers. Those are teachers who presented us with a need, a problem to solve that we've been able to help. So greatly appreciate your help.
Now I'd like to turn it over to Jeff Vogel, our guest tonight from American Family Dreams Foundation.
I won't take a long time because I'm on a school board too, and I know how the meetings can sometimes get. But I did want to kind of give you just a little quick background of how this all came to be. In our headquarters location in Madison, Wisconsin, we have an adopt a school program with, and it's a much bigger area, with a high school and a middle school. And we decided we wanted to look at doing some kind of similar program with school districts near where we have regional offices. And we have them in Eden Prairie. We have one in St. Louis area, one in St. Joe, Missouri, one in Denver area, and one in Phoenix. And so I was charged, since I have a lot of interest in education with a lot of things that I'm involved with, did a little investigating. I was a part of our own education foundation where I lived for 9 years. And so we had a history of doing what you're doing with innovative grants. And I did some research on those areas, wanting to identify the school districts that I thought would benefit most from this kind of an arrangement. Ideally, in the long run, what we'd love to have happen is employees that are in our office here in the Twin Cities area become involved in some way with the school district, and that'll just take some time kind of connecting people up with that. But so we did that initially, and then we were trying to evaluate if we wanted to continue on with it. And so we've formalized it to the point where this year we are giving $30,000 grants to each of the education foundations that serve school districts in these areas of where we have regional offices, including Bloomington. And they are for the 2018-2019 school year. And we're just excited. I'm thrilled to be a part of this kind of thing because I see what the teachers can do when given just a little chance. I always told the teachers in our school district before the school year started, when I talked to them about our foundation, I said, if you have an idea, don't let money necessarily stop you, because maybe there's a way to make it work. And a lot of times with these kinds of grants, you can try them out and see if they can work, and that energizes the teachers also. It makes them feel like they can try some of these new ideas, and that's the intent, is to energize them, make them, have them think creatively and use some of those ideas, and it can benefit everybody in the school district. And so we're thrilled to be a part of it. We're hopeful that this is something that can continue for a number of years, and so we hope to be good partners with the Bloomington School District. I do want to say one other thing. I had flashbacks when they were singing the songs, because a long time ago, I was in Hello Dolly in high school. And so it's a fun place. So I encourage you all to go to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Dan, did you have anything you would like to say?
Yeah, just one quick thing. One, his flashbacks, he sang every word, including the girls' words, so he knew everything. That was awesome. No, but thank you guys for letting us get involved and stay involved. We're very appreciative of Karen, Les, John, and everyone that's allowed us to be involved with the school district. I know the one thing, just to put a point on that teacher with the photography, has stuck since. She went back to her old district, who had a district that was doing pretty well, so she was able to buy brand new equipment and then furnish her whole classroom. I think that's the point that Jeff wanted to get, giving teachers a chance to see how they can do something like that that can essentially affect the whole classroom, and that's kind of what you guys got set up here, so I'm looking forward to working with you guys moving forward as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. I'm looking forward to Dan being my co-chair and eventually taking over our Innovation Grants program. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for making American Family Insurance Dreams Foundation a friend of the Bloomington schools. They definitely are.
Thank you.
So finally met a
Volunteer
guy taller than you.
Appreciation Week. Someone like to read the resolution?
Madam Chair, be resolved, the School Board of Independent School District 271 adopts the attached proclamation declaring April 2018 as Volunteer Appreciation Month in the Bloomington Public Schools.
Second.
I'll read the proclamation. Volunteer Appreciation Month. Whereas the care, commitment, and hard work of our world-class diverse volunteers have made our schools more effective places in which to learn, and whereas volunteers have enriched and expanded the learning opportunities available to learners of all ages and abilities, and whereas volunteerism is a living lesson that embodies a spirit of giving and a spirit of lifelong learning, and whereas we wish to celebrate the many gifts of the thousands of volunteers contributing to the Bloomington Public Schools and our programs for children, youth, and adults. Now, therefore, we members of the Bloomington School Board proclaim that April 2018 be observed as Volunteer Appreciation Month in the Bloomington Public Schools. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? All right. All right, so Debbie Belfry, you want to introduce the rest of your guests here?
Thank you very much. To the chair, Superintendent Fujitaki, and the school board members, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. I'm Debbie Belfry. I'm the coordinator of the Volunteer Connection Program. And with me is Sue Martell, and she is the placement specialist for the early childhood through grade 12 Volunteer Connection Program.
Good evening. I'm Kelly McGowan, and I'm the Director of Adult Basic Education at Metro South. And I am joined by Mary Jo Bayless, who is the Volunteer Coordinator for Metro South Volunteers.
Hello.
All right, you ready? Okay.
Got to start pushing buttons.
Great. Good evening. As I said, I'm Kelly McGowan, and I am the Metro South Adult Basic Education Director. Thank you for giving me the opportunity this evening to share the incredible impact Metro South volunteers are making every day in our Adult Basic Education program. Thank you. Metro South has 125 volunteers supporting adult learners in a variety of ways. Our volunteers help in the classrooms. They work one-on-one with students in lab settings and lead classes at collaborative sites in the community. Our incredible volunteers have donated 5,862 hours of their time in 16-17. The independent sector, a national organization that calculates the monetary value of a volunteer hour, reports that in 2016, a volunteer hour was equal to $24.14. So we calculated today that Metro South volunteers have donated time equal to $141,509, which is quite significant. Wow. And if you look up there, the photos include, at the top left, Karen, who is helping an adult male student work on his reading skills. The photo on the top right is our volunteer Nancy, who is a retired physician, and she is helping in our Career Pathways phlebotomy class. And the bottom photo is a group of our grateful students who are happy to have the help of our volunteers. Thank you. Ready, Mary Jo?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. This year we are offering a new basic ESL class, and it is all volunteer-led. We have 3 volunteers on Tuesday morning and 3 volunteers on Thursday morning working from 9:30 to 12 o'clock with our lowest level learners. And these are adult learners that speak little or no English at all. Some students have limited or no experience with school. Some have never used a computer before this class. And during this class, the students rotate to different stations that are coordinated by volunteers where they practice reading, writing, speaking, listening, and computer skills. Another exciting addition to Metro South is the expansion of our adult ESL math program. Thank you.
Whoops.
All right. There we go. Because of 11 dedicated volunteers, we are now able to offer more math to more students, and this class meets Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. Volunteers help our students with addition, subtraction, and fractions. Half of the volunteers working on math with ESL students are Normandale Service Learning students as well. Metro South also has 2 AmeriCorps service members working with our students this program year. We have a CTEP, which is a Community Tech Empowerment Project service member. Her name is Grace Stewart, and Grace works directly with students to develop digital literacy skills and to help them increase their comfort when working with computers. And then we also have Metro South volunteers that are helping her as well with the students to help them increase their knowledge of digital literacy. And on the bottom is Alicia Lowe, and she is an opportunity navigator, and she's helping students with job searches, job applications, resumes, and cover letters. And she also utilizes Metro South volunteers to help students prepare for work and prepare applications and cover letters and resumes and understand what it's like to go to a job interview. We also have had volunteer organizations in the community come into our classrooms to help students learn and gain new skills. So this past fall, we had the League of Women Voters, and they presented to classrooms on local government, voters' rights and responsibilities, and how to register to vote. They even helped students register to vote online at Metro South, where they had a station set up in the hallway. And we've also had a local Rotarian group who have volunteered in our career and college preparation classroom. And they have helped students with resumes and cover letters and job searches as well. And we truly thank all of our volunteers for their dedication, because we couldn't do the quality programming that we do without their help. Thank you for your time.
We also have a brief presentation to cover some of the program areas that our early childhood through grade 12 volunteer connection cover.
Hi, I'm Jordan Waite. I teach third grade at Weston Elementary. I host about 10 volunteers who volunteer connection each year. I just want to say thank you so much for your dedication, your time. It has really enriched the lives and the learning experiences of our students each and every year. So thank you very much.
Our faith communities are a big part of who comes into our classrooms and volunteer with us. They provide a tremendous amount of support. These are some pictures. 10 years ago, Westwood partnered with Transfiguration Lutheran Church, almost kitty corner from their building, and they have a Reading Buddy program and a Pen Pal program. This year's 16 Reading Buddies share their time with 34 students each week to support literacy and nurture special relationships, and there were 51 pen pals exchanging letters every couple of months with the 4th grade students. And in May, they get to meet each other, and Transfiguration Lutheran Church hosts them at their location. We also started a new partnership with Upworks. It's an organization that engages faith community volunteers with our schools. And you can see there that we started a new program with Valley View Elementary with 11 breakfast buddies who come and eat breakfast with students every week. And volunteers from St. Michael's, including Pastor Pat, also help with the school homework connection program at Normandale Hills. Our Rocking Readers.
I like having them Rocking Reader because they help me.
Our Rocking Readers, for 20 years, have been a dedicated group of volunteers who have been working with Valley View Elementary School and their 5 kindergarten classes each week, October through May. And we just want to highlight Sherry Hallberg is one of those volunteers who's worked there for more than 20 years with our students and has worked with over 100 students herself. So we love to honor people that have spent that much time with our students. We also have after-school homework connection programs that we coordinate.
I like the homework connection because the volunteers help with the homework.
Our homework connection program started in 1999. It serves students grades 3rd grade through 5th grade 2 days a week. And we have a site coordinator and a lot of dedicated volunteers that have worked with our students. This year we've had 47 students served at Westwood, Indian Mounds, Normandale Hills, participating in the program. And a lot of our volunteers come from Normandale Community College out of the America Reads, America Counts programs. Along with that, we have community members and neighbors that come in to also volunteer after school for an hour with these students to help with homework. One of our volunteers was a past Bloomington police officer, and he came to us and wanted something to do in the afternoons. And so he volunteers because his students participated in the Volunteer Connection program. So he contacted us, wanted to volunteer, and he now also has a daughter who's a 5th grade teacher at Indian Mounds. So that's a fun story. So we have had more than 60 volunteers total helping out in our Volunteer Connection programs this year.
Hello, my name is Almira Curlin, and I'm the Youth Services Librarian here at Oxford Library. And we love having homework connections here at the library. Families love it, our staff love it, brings in a lot of families. It's a huge, huge, wonderful thing here at Oxford.
Our Oxborough Library connected with the Volunteer Connection in 2008 and asked if we wanted to do a volunteer homework program in their facility. That family homework connection program runs from 5:30 to 7:30 on Tuesdays, but because of the popularity of it and the growth of that program, we've expanded to Wednesday evenings as well. We have 27 different volunteers that help out 1 or 2 nights a week. They include college students from Normandale, math and science student experts from Northwestern Health Sciences University, and other area colleges. And as you can see, they also have a wonderful comfort dog, Gideon, who has heard many of story read by students now, and gets a lot of special attention there in the evening. We have supported 131 individual students this year from 14 different Bloomington schools, and 10 students that happen to be in the library from other schools that also get some attention and help with their homework. As you can see, we have volunteers coming from 19 different colleges and universities this year. Most of those are students, the largest majority from Normandale Community College, but we have a lot of students that may have been our own Bloomington students that come back and do practicum or a J term and come back and volunteer with us. They also are students that are working on education students working on their master's degree. They might be speech pathologists, occupational therapists, counseling, and other curricular areas. So we appreciate all of those students, as well as introduction to education students from Normandale Community College. So teachers just getting started on their road to their own education. This year we welcomed 528 volunteers who supported our students as all of those things, as you just saw, and in all of those different programs, and so we didn't have pictures of each one of them, but we welcomed 528 volunteers, and we also welcomed 185 different parent and community volunteers that just helped with field trips this year that were processed with applications and background checks through our office. Our office is located at Pond Center. We're always welcoming people to come over, stop in, see how they can help, and we'll find you a match. And Sue Martell does that as well as, or better than anybody in the state of Minnesota. And so those are the programs that our Volunteer Connection office takes care of through the application and background check process. We also, though, have all of our PTSA volunteers that are in and out of our schools continually. And this year to date, we have had 240 lunchroom volunteers. And so we always like to mention those volunteers also. They don't come through our office, but they are in our schools every single day, and we couldn't do our food service without those fantastic volunteers also. Any questions?
First of all, thank you all for coming. Appreciate all the things that you're doing. Excuse me, Debbie, you mentioned that for the folks that are watching online, or online on TV, wherever they're watching, how can they get in touch with you? Do they come to the Pond office? Is there an online presence? They can look and register and start that process, because I know after listening to you, there's going to be a lot of people that want to volunteer. So
We hope so.
can you just quickly run me through how that process works?
We can be located along with the Metro South links on the Bloomington Public Schools website, and can be found under the community section, and there you will find opportunities for volunteering, and you will find links to both Metro South. So if people would prefer to volunteer with adult learners, they would go to Metro South. If they're interested in early childhood through grade 12, we will talk to them in our office. And if they happen to get the wrong office, we work together continually to make sure that we find the right placement for any person that comes into our schools, to match them with the people that they are most comfortable working with.
Yeah, my question is for Kelly. With the ESL students taking the morning sessions for learning, reading, whatever, do some of them stay for the afternoon math sessions too?
Yes, actually, we do have quite a few students who now stay in the afternoon for the math, and I would attribute that to Mary Jo's work in getting a lot of volunteers to help out with the math, and we have a big demand for math. Our students can't get enough math, so we're looking at trying to expand more next year as well. And I think part of it also is because they want to be able to help their children at home with homework as well. And we've had a couple that have come to you and said, I need help because I can't help my kids with their math anymore. So that's part of it as well. But it's also because they are maybe looking to go to college or to tech school, and they understand that they need to have stronger knowledge of math.
And then following that up, because we have so many opportunities for homework helpers and homework connections, so do any of the adults come there with their kids maybe, or is that just like after school time?
We have seen some at our Family Homework Connection program at Oxborough Library. We have also seen our adult learners, and so the parents can get help there as well as their children getting their homework help. And we oftentimes, in conjunction with the library staff, have parents bring their youngest children along in the evening, and so they just make sure they're set up to do family story time and things like that in the part of the library away from some of where the homework is being done.
I think that's such a good idea because there's more openness now with the parents and the kids from immigrants or wherever that are coming in. Before, they used to be pretty not confident or not wanting to, and so they would stay home and struggle. And now, as we encourage more and more opportunities, that they can come in and learn along with their children. Good.
We also have opportunities in the summer, so everybody's welcome to still continue to call. School doesn't end in June. We have students all summer long, and happy to have help in the summer also.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who wishes to address the school board on an item that is not on the agenda? Okay. So a requirement of our 12th grade government classes is to observe a governmental meeting of some sort. Things that they may attend are city council meetings, school board meetings, courtroom proceedings, etc. The social studies curriculum guide identifies essential standards, one of which is to understand the role and influence of political processes and organizations by examining the role of interest groups, think tanks, the media, and public opinion on the political process and public policy formation. So now, all the students that are in the audience for class, we're going to ask that you come to the podium over here and give your name and your school and the teacher of your class. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emiliano Mendoza. I'm a student over at Jefferson High School, and I'm with the 12th grade government. My teacher is Daniel Storlin.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Caitlin Barons, and I go to Jefferson, and my teacher is Daniel Storlin.
Hi, my name is Angela Martinez, and I'm here for my government class, and my teacher's name is Daniel Storlin.
My name is Zach Baugh. I go to Jefferson, and my teacher is Tim Carlson.
I'm Haley Garcia Grocco. I also go to Jefferson, and then my teacher is Tim Carlson as well.
Dogs.
My name is Emma Peterson. I go to Jefferson High School, and my teacher is Sarah Dahl-Weiland.
Hi, I'm Brett Williams, and I go to Jefferson High School, and my teacher is Daniel Storlin.
My name's Alexander Skold. I go to Jefferson High School, and my teacher is Daniel Storlin. And also I have to take a selfie to prove that I've been here. Can I do that right now?
Sure.
Thank you.
Good proof.
My name is Ryan Park, and I'm here from Miss Sarah Dahl-Weiland.
My name is Catherine Painter. I'm from Jefferson High School, and my teacher is Daniel Storlin.
My name is Holly Sedler. I'm also from Jefferson, and I'm as well from Mr. Storlin's class.
Jada McIntoon, Jefferson, and then Mr. Storlin.
Everyone. Okay, at the close of this session, or after 1 hour, whichever is shorter, which it looks like it's going to be an hour tonight, you can ask for a signature on the agenda from any of the administrative cabinet members, and those are the people sitting along the wall over here. Okay? Thank you. All right, moving on to Part A.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor of approving the Part A of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right. All right, we have the Banco agreement for credit card payments. Someone like to read that resolution?
Madam Chair. Be it resolved, the School Board of Independent School District 271 approve an agreement to have Vanco Payment Solutions provide credit card processing services for the district and authorize administration to enter into an agreement with Vanco to provide this service.
Second.
Chair Sygoff, Superintendent Fujitaki, board members. What this is a process that we've been looking at for many years to have a credit card processing service for field trips and some of the other areas. We've worked with a couple other companies to do athletics and the rest. We found with working with Infinite Campus, our new student system, this system seems to be fitting the best for that. And we recommend approval of this contract with them.
Any questions, anyone? Great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. All right, I guess you're up next also, Rod, for the bid award for pavement rehab and improvements at Oak Grove Middle. School and Normandale Hills Elementary School. Is there a motion for that?
Madam Chair, be it resolved that the School Board of Independent School District 271 accept the Park Construction Company, Minneapolis, Minnesota's bid of $255,315, bid to rehabilitate pavement at Oak Grove Middle School and Normandale Hills Elementary School, and approve the contract with Park Construction Company to accomplish this work.
Second?
This is part of our annual all facility projects. If you probably, the biggest one is if you've ever been over to Normandale Hills, kind of that back loop area that goes off by the baseball fields, and that has been pretty rough over the years. We've put a plan in place of how we're going to restore that, and hopefully with less buses and that going through that area should hold it better going into the future.
Madam Chair, just a quick one, Rod. I didn't see a start date. Are we going to wait till school's out to start the pavement, or?
Right. It'll probably be starting in the summer, after school's out.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay. The next one is roof replacement at Kennedy High School and Normandale Hills Elementary School.
Madam Chair, be resolved the School Board of Independent School District 271 accept the Thomas Finn Company St. Paul bid of $867,548 bid to re-roof Kennedy High School and Normandale Hills Elementary School and approve the contract to accomplish this work.
Second.
This is also part of the annual all facility projects that we do. It's not a complete roof at both the sites. It's more of different sections that we have determined to need treatment at this point in time.
Madam Chair, just a question then. So how often do we need to do this, like say at Kennedy or something? Is it good for 10 years or sections, that we do, or?
What we have is we have a company that reviews all our roofs on an annual basis. And so it's more of some are, could be 20, 25 years of sections that we don't have to deal with. Others, depending on weather conditions, what side of the building, everything else that you have. So I don't really want to state of how quickly we do it, but we're verifying them on an annual basis to make sure that they don't become bigger problems down the road.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair, just a
Bergstrom.
quick point of clarification for those watching at home there. This bid was one of 4 vendors to bid on this, so for those of you that don't have the full agenda, that there are actually more than one company bidding on it.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. And one more bid award. This is for exterior wall repairs work at Kennedy High School and Pond Center.
Madam Chair, be it resolved that the School Board of Independent School District 271 accept the Western Specialty Contractors, Minneapolis, Minnesota bid of $529,000 to provide exterior wall repairs at Kennedy High School and Pond Center, and approve the contract with Western Specialty Contractors to accomplish this work.
Second?
Questions?
As you can see, the all facility program covers quite a few different areas. This is another project that is evaluated, looking at buildings, and it's been prioritized that at this point in time, these 2 buildings need some work on their exterior.
No questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, thank you, Rod.
Thank you.
Up next, we have policy review. Mary Burrows, I think, has the first one. New policy 423. Would someone like to read that one?
Madam Chair, be resolved the School Board of Independent School District 271 approves new policy 423, staff-student relationships.
Second.
Hi, Chair Steigoff, Superintendent Fujitaki, and members of the school board. I'm bringing forward a new policy for the district. The purpose of this policy is to ensure that district staff provide students with appropriate guidance, understanding, and direction while maintaining a standard of professionalism and acting within acceptable standards of conduct. It is an MSBA policy. It's a model policy. It's not required. So we used the model and then modified it to fit district-specific language and process.
Anyone have any questions about the new policy?
I have a question. So the wording that is in the following that we have is what you have received from MSBA?
Correct.
And you believe that it's fine just as it's written, or did you do revisions on that as well?
We did slight modifications on our district-specific language, like, district instead of school district in the policy.
Oh, I
We
see.
modified some of the language like that. And then it was reviewed by our attorney, so.
Okay, great.
At the end of that process.
Madam Chair, the policy subcommittee did meet and discuss some of this, so it's gotten the subcommittee approval.
Hopefully that means something.
Yeah, the time we spend on it, it should mean
Your
something.
recommendations. Yes, we're very thankful for having a policy committee to go through all of these, so the whole board doesn't spend all the time wordsmithing them all before they get to us. So thank you for the policy committee for your work on that. All right. Any other questions on this one? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, moving on to the next policy. Would someone like to read, let's see, it's 518, do not resuscitate, do not incubate, DNR or DNI orders.
Madam Chair, be it resolved that the School Board of Independent School District 271 approves revised policy 518, do not resuscitate, do not intubate orders.
Second. Excuse me, second.
All right, we have Jennifer McIntyre here, I think, to discuss this one, so.
Yes, thank you, Chair Steigoff and Superintendent Fujitaki, board members. I've brought Hannah Hatch with me. She is the Supervisor for Health Services. She can speak much more eloquently to this than I, but I will attempt and then pass it off to Hannah to answer your questions as we go. We had a policy in place for many years as a district, and we reviewed it, and then also reviewed the MSBA guidance on this policy and made the decision to move forward with the policy you sit in front of you for policy 518, do not resuscitate, do not intubate. And we are moving forward with recommending that we no longer accept DNRs or DNI orders within the district, and our district health staff will continue to be available and assist in the case of emergencies during school hours, and staff will continue to provide emergency care as needed. And so that is our recommendation to the board at this point in time. We've had both David Holman and our board review committee both review this policy.
Thank you. Okay, anyone have any questions?
To know, in the past, how many of the, do not resuscitate, do not intubate requests have you had? It just seems very odd.
Yeah, it's been very few. I think 2 years ago we had one order within the district, but other than that, it's been very few. We have 0 orders within the district right now, our students requiring that.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, we're going to move on to student discipline. This is Eric Milby. Will come up. Someone like to read this resolution?
Sure, Madam Chair, be resolved the School Board of Independent School District 271 approves revised policy 506, student discipline.
Second?
Okay, Chair Steigoff, Superintendent Fujitaki, members of the board, thanks for the opportunity to come before you and bring a couple of updated policies. The discipline policy is mandatory and really is required to be updated every year, so we're doing our a required update. The policy ensures students are aware and comply with district expectations around student conduct. The policy updates this time around reflect some MSBA recommended model policy updates. Some Bloomington language included in there. It's been reviewed by the Board Policy Committee on March 22nd, and David Holman has also reviewed and approves of the recommended changes.
Anyone have any questions?
Madam Chair?
Sir.
I think it's fitting that this one comes before us, and we have a nice group of high school students. I'm sure they're all going to go home and study Policy 506 before their heads hit the pillow tonight, and they'll all be able to share that with their students and fellow students, right? And you're going to rock and roll on this one? Good.
Pretty sure none of these students have been subjected to any of the provisions of this particular policy.
Thanks.
Okay, did you have a question?
I had a question because it says it's a revision, so I'm wondering what parts were revised.
Sure. Included some updates in regards to where student behavior could result in discipline in terms of like at bus stops and walking routes to school and things like that. Also had some changes. I have to be able to read my notes here. Language regarding drug use to update to MSBA policy. Language regarding reporting requirements to the Minnesota Department of Education, and some updates really around the special education due process requirements for students with disabilities who may be subject to discipline. And then some statutory references and policy cross-references were updated as well.
Okay.
Madam Chair, and just for additional clarification for the students and people watching, this is a policy, the school board approves a policy of which might be 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, but then there's also several pages of regulations that the administration takes care of. And that's where it gets into some of the details about what actually does happen. So rather than a school board going in and talking about all of those regulations that might be there, or in a full board of 7 people, everybody has a slightly need for clarification of what this really means. But that's in the regulations of the policy. We just do a general policy approval, which summarily talks about all of those things. And then if there's any, excuse me, I get so choked up when we talk about student disciplines. You can check, in your student handbook and a variety of other places to reference in case you do have some questions. Thank you.
And I'm curious, with students here, how many of you have read the student regulations online in the student handbook? Raise your hands. Anybody?
How about the student handbook?
Okay.
Staff review it with students every year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some more homework for you tonight.
Right.
Yeah. It's on your school website.
Any other questions? All right, all in favor of approving this policy, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is 543, school pickup and drop-off of students. Would someone like to read this one?
Madam Chair, be it resolved that the School Board of Independent School District 271 approves revised policy 543, school pickup and drop-off of students.
Second?
Mr. Riley?
Chair Steigoff, Superintendent Fujitaki, members of the board, this policy 543 is not a mandatory policy, and there is no MSBA model policy language to use with this. The purpose of the policy is really to ensure that students are safely and appropriately picked up or dropped off at school during the school day. It's replacing a 543 that we currently have that's entitled In-School Student Security, K through 12. And the policy part, as Director Soren pointed out, is fairly short, and then there's much more in terms of regulation, in terms of giving guidance to schools around how to release students, throughout the school day. The Board Policy Committee did review this on March 22nd. No edits to the draft UC came out of that meeting, and David Holman's also reviewed and approves of the policy, and I would recommend approval.
Questions? Okay, then all in favor, say aye.
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 Say nay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're moving on to board member reports. Would someone like to go first? Mr. Bergstrom.
All right. Well, it's been a while since we've had a meeting, so I'm just going to condense the events that I've been to. Had the opportunity to attend the monthly PTSA council meeting, was right here in 610A. Among other things on that agenda, Rick Kaufman gave an update on school safety tips and procedures. A great big word of thanks to all of our PTA and PTSA folks for all the work and the volunteering that they do. Along those lines, had the opportunity to attend the PTSA speaker series. That was an off-site venue. It was over at Mugshots off of Old Shakopee in France. And they had a guest speaker. Her name was Solveig Brown. And she spoke. There was about 25, 30 people. It was really, really informative. Let me see if I have her information on here. Of course, I didn't bring it. Well, I apologize for not having the title of the talk. But it was a couple hours, exceptionally informative. And I'm really, really glad to have been able to do that. Tomorrow, 9/17, which is the board that I sit on from Bloomington, it's an intermediate board. We are going to be interviewing 2 finalists for the superintendent position. Process has been really, really, really interesting, to say the least. I think they started with 11. They got that down to 5. We, the board as a whole, interviewed 5. That was a day-long process. That was very interesting to see 5 very different candidates. We're down to 2. They will get an hour each tomorrow. And then we're hoping to have somebody, hopefully we'll extend an offer, they'll accept that offer, and we'll have them in place at least by July 1st of this year. Last but not least, going through my calendar, looking to see, did I go to the right place? Am I at the right venue? Is oftentimes it's more than I can handle. I know that's hard to believe, but there is somebody that takes care of me, that's somebody that takes care of the entire board, somebody that takes care of the superintendent. And that somebody's name is Deb Bunkholt. She sits over in the corner here, nice and quiet at every meeting. But without Deb and without someone at a front desk somewhere, we can't do what we do. I know I'm a knucklehead. Occasionally, some of my coworkers fit that description. Maybe we don't always show up at the same time, at the right place, at the right time. And Deb does such a wonderful job of just very gently pushing, saying, no, you need to go through this door, you need to go over there. And she does it with a smile on her face. And she has to keep track of Superintendent Fujitaki also. I know he's a lot easier to keep track of than someone like me, but I really wanted to blather on just a little bit tonight about the wonderful job that Deb does. She's done it for a number of years in this district, and she's handled a lot of board members. So many thanks to Deb Bunkholt. I can't add anything more to that, so I'll yield the floor to the next report.
Okay, I would just say, there's a couple of us working with Deb to write a book, on her experiences here. So thanks for trying to get into the foreword, about what the book is going to be about.
I'll be under knucklehead.
Okay. Are there any other board member reports? No. Go ahead, Mr. Bennett.
So the policy committee met back in March, and we reviewed 5 different policies, 4 of which were brought before you tonight that we passed, and that takes our total up to 18. Does that sound correct there, Des? So we're at 18, which is, we need 2 more to hit our goal of 20 a year, and we will be meeting again in May, so we will surpass that. And in those policy, we met for about an hour, so I know it kind of goes really fast here at these meetings, and people might be thinking that we're not really jumping into them, but us committee members, we spend a lot of time reviewing these, and there's a lot of questions asked, so they're well vetted before they come to the board. Just wanted to throw that out there for Beth, since you're kind of new. So, and also today, the student advisory councils met, both of them, the junior high, or the middle school and the high school. And today our topic of discussion was the VEEP food drive that's coming up on April 23rd. And so we met as both units, and then we separated, and the high school went and did their thing. Not quite sure what they talked about. Hopefully our 2 reps will give a good report in 2 weeks. But we kind of further discussion on brainstorming ideas of how they can increase their participation in the food drive and maximize their donations. And each school came up with some really good ideas. So hopefully that will help reach our goal of 70,000 pounds of food. And I always ask the question how much food they go through in a week, and they're saying they go through about 60,000 pounds a week. So our 70,000, if we were to donate that much, it'd be about a week to feed communities of Bloomington. So it's a huge help, that food. And also tomorrow is the annual CCAC award banquet. I'm sure you guys have all gotten your invitations over at the Holiday Inn. Is it Holiday Inn? Yeah. Around 94th. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. And that's it.
Anybody else? Maureen?
I just would like to remind everyone that the Education Foundation of Bloomington has a little thing going on right now called Send a Note of Thanks and Appreciation to a Bloomington Staff Member. And if you go on to the efbmn.org website, you could sign up to send a note of appreciation to your child's favorite teacher or your favorite staff member.
Board member?
Yes, your favorite board member would be lovely. And for $5, they get this little thank you note and a coupon for a Scoops ice cream. So just want to remind everybody to get your applications or your donations in for that. Thank you.
Anything else? Mr. Sorn?
Chair Sargoff, and maybe to the, when is the food drive week? The last week in April?
April 23rd through the 27th.
Okay.
So that's not the last week, second to last week.
Last
though,
full
yes.
week.
And so
Last full week.
most of the schools and/or vendors and partners and friends of the Bloomington schools are getting that information now already. And then next Monday, of course, is our Student Achievement Recognition Dinner that is where, Maureen?
The Bloomington Hilton Airport.
But for you, it's West Bloomington.
Thank you, yeah, thank you. I'm sure Deb will call and let me know exactly where it is and the time I'm supposed to be there.
She'll have the chauffeur
I
wait.
think you can read your email. Okay, anyone else have anything?
I have one. I was asked to let everybody on the board know that Westwood is having a health fair on Thursday. It is an all-day event. I've seen the lineup. It's very encouraging to see a school taking this so in-depth in a variety of aspects of health. So you're all invited to come for a part or all or some. And I plan to be there for a fair amount. Really looking forward to it and give a report later, I guess.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, I have just a couple of things. I had a chance to attend the PTA meeting at Normandale Hills Elementary. Main topics there were their upcoming carnival, which I think is May 5th, whatever the Friday night is. 4th, okay. 5th is May 4th. And they talk about some of their communication with parents, how to communicate, some new ideas, I think, and just overall recruiting parents not only for the carnival, but to the PTA and to the officer positions for next year. That was the main discussion that evening. I also had a chance to go to the Capitol with some members of the Bloomington Advocacy Council. and had a chance to talk to our elected officials on some of the bills that have been introduced, and primarily around school funding. And the special ed cross-subsidy was one of the topics on funding that we talked about. It's a good chance to meet with our legislators and just keep them apprised of things that are affecting Bloomington schools. Also, Tom mentioned the CCAC Awards. I thought it was great timing. That is also Autism Awareness Month, and for the CCAC Awards, just to explain a little bit about that, those awards are for anyone that goes above and beyond what may be their normal duties of a day to help a student with special needs. So that could be the bus driver, it could be their special ed teacher, it could be, we've had another student nominated before, so it is a wonderful, wonderful event. The stories that people write in about the things that people have done for their children or for their colleagues are unbelievable. So the nomination letters they read. So if any of you haven't been there, I would please say, you know, if you get a chance to go, go. Along with that, though, I also wanted to, since it's Autism Awareness Month, thank all of the staff that choose to work with our students with autism. You know, as a parent of a now adult with autism, there are days I am definitely worn down and wore out by that, and I didn't have any choice. I did not choose it, but these people choose it every day, so I cannot thank them enough. So I just wanted to throw that out there for autism awareness, and thank you. Mr. Fujitagi.
Great, thank you. Tonight I have two topics. First, our district senior achievement recognition banquet will be held on Monday night, April 16th at the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport Hilton. This is an annual event. At this year's event, 60-plus seniors from each of our high schools will be recognized and honored for excellence. I'll now identify the event sponsors whose generous support make this outstanding event possible. The American Legion, Earl C. Hill Post 550, the Bloomington Community Foundation, the Education Foundation of Bloomington, the Mall of America, the Richfield Bloomington Credit Union, the Jefferson High School PTA, the Kennedy High School PTA, the Sun Newspapers, the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport Hilton, and most important, the Bloomington School Board. So thank you. Second topic is school safety. Bloomington Chief of Police Jeff Potts and I have begun meeting to discuss how the Bloomington Police Department and the district can collaborate to improve and strengthen school safety. We plan to continue to meet on this important work. That concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, is there any other business to come before the board? All right, seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Now what do we do? It's only 8:15, for goodness sake.
Yeah.